So we're with Ashley at Maetan Middle School. Ashley, could you maybe briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, I just started here at the end of February and we've just started second term now. I'm the only native English teacher here, but we have about 8 to 10 full-time and part-time English teachers, and I've worked with almost all of them, either in this term or the previous term.
Okay. As far as your schedule, could you kind of walk us through a weekly schedule, what it's typically like?
In my first term, I had 18 classes a week, but this term they've amped me up to, I've got 20 regular classes, and now I'm going to have on Mondays and Wednesdays a special after-school class that will bring me up to 22.
Okay, and how long are the classes at this level?
All the class periods are 45 minutes each with a 10-minute break to get the students to and from their classes. And my after-school classes, they are an hour and a half.
Okay.
So a little bit longer.
And so working with grades 7, 8, 9 in middle school, do you spend more time with any particular grade or?
Yeah, definitely the first years. And then in the second year now, I work with all the third years as well. Unfortunately, I don't get to teach with the second years.
Okay, I see. And I heard that you actually divide the levels here, which is a little bit unique compared to other
Yeah.
public schools.
That only happens with the first years. So we've got 8 homeroom classes of 40 students each, and they've divided the classes into 4 blocks, so block A, block B, block C, block D, and then everyone takes a test at the end of term and at midterms, and they get tested into a high, medium, or basic class, which is really great because the basic is smaller, it's only 20 students, and it makes a huge difference just having a smaller class size. And then medium and high are 30 students each, give or take.
Okay.
And some of my students have spent time in other countries, so their level is very, very high. So usually we have to find other things in the textbook to keep them interested, to keep them challenged.
Okay. So working with Korean teachers in this school, how would you describe the breakdown as far as who takes more of the responsibility? How is the class divided?
For the basic class, in terms of day-to-day working with the class, I'd say the Korean co-teacher does about 60 to 70% of leading the class, whereas I am, in the back making sure the students are all on task, and I'll help with pronunciation and when we're practicing a dialogue. For the medium and the high level, I do more of the leading of the class, and I help find materials that will challenge the high level classes, because as I said, they need something more than the textbook.
Okay.
And with my third year classes, they don't get divided. We teach the entire homeroom together. I'd say maybe it's about 60 me, 40 the other teacher. Sometimes I do a little bit more. It depends what the other co-teacher is comfortable with.
Okay. And overall, how do you find your relationship with the co-teachers?
It's good. Sometimes it's difficult to find the time to meet with them to talk about the lesson plan and what's going to happen. But, so maybe I don't get to meet with all my teachers at once. I have to go find Mrs. Kim after school or during lunch. So communication does sometimes take some effort, but it's always possible.
Okay. How about discipline? How do you handle discipline in your class?
Whoever said, "Oh, Korean students, they're so polite and quiet," I just want to hit them. Not the students, that is. Whoever said the students were so polite. I've got a point system. All the students have cards, and when we have good classes, they get positive stamps, and when they don't come to class prepared, or if they're sleeping or being disruptive, they get a negative point. For any serious problems, like once there was a fight, I let the co-teacher handle that. That's their job to do. And that only happened once. There's never been really a serious discipline issue where we had to get students out of the class or anything. It's mainly just sit down, stop talking or yelling with your neighbor, and do the work.
Yeah. Okay. I guess outside the school, how far is your apartment from here, and what is it like?
I'm about a 15-20 minute walk from the school. But it's really nice because my apartment is really close to a grocery store / department store, so it's really convenient for shopping and close to a lot of restaurants. I can't lie, my apartment is pretty small. I've got an entranceway / kitchen, and then just pretty much a big box. That's one corner is divided for my bathroom, and then there's the sleeping area, desk area, vanity, and then little double door, sliding doors that divide a kind of laundry area.
Mm-hmm.
It's small, but hey, it doesn't take a lot of energy to make to run the air conditioner, and the floor heating really works well. So,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's kind of got a small apartment. So when we want to get together, we just kind of go out to a restaurant or a coffee shop instead.
Okay. So although Suwon is a pretty big city in itself, not a lot of people know about it when they start to research Korea. What's your general impression of Suwon City?
I really like it. It's great to be in a big city. It's a big change for me, but there's still a lot of parks and hiking trails that you can go on, so you're not in a concrete jungle by any means. And there's so many options for getting into Seoul or getting away. We've got we're a KTX station. I forget what trains go, but we're very well connected to the train network. Highway buses go to Seoul like pretty much every 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really cheap. They're about 2,000 won, which is like $2 Canadian, so you can't go wrong there. And yeah, we've got a fortress, which is cool because you'll definitely go on a few field trips there with your students. And we've got the art center, so a lot of roadhouse shows and ballets come through. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to go all the way up to Seoul to see a musical or something, there's probably something coming your way.
Okay.
And we have the World Cup Stadium.
Yep.
And there's running events. There's going to be a nighttime marathon event where we're all going to run and wear glow sticks. That's
Nice.
going to be a good time.
Okay. So I guess overall your experience seems like it's been pretty good here. Anything that kind of surprised you about life in Korea, teaching in Korea that you weren't really kind of expecting before you came here, even though you did have experience in Japan beforehand?
At my previous school, we had really strict discipline, so sometimes I was surprised that the co-teachers are willing to let a student sleep in class, or they just didn't bring their books, so they'll decide that they're gonna, pick their nails for 45 minutes. So I find that a little bit upsetting. I don't like to allow that in my class, but the co-teachers, they've got other places to spend their energy, so they don't want to tackle that problem, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else surprising? I don't know. Just
Okay.
yeah, I just say some of that. But the students are really friendly. I was expecting the students to be a little bit more scared or shy of me, but no, they're really excited. They're so excited when they see you in the hall or when you're eating lunch near them.
Okay.
So that's been a really nice surprise.
Good. Great. Well, thank you for inviting us to the school and showing us around and telling us a little bit about your life here.
My pleasure. See you.